Good morning, and welcome to the Isn't It Time Facebook Live show today. I'm your host, Sally Thibault, and we're going to be talking today about the 2 fastest ways to manifest success. I hope wherever you are today, you are warm or cool, depending where you are, but comfortable. Let's hope you're comfortable. It's been a big week this week for me. And if you've seen my Facebook page, I'm very fortunate this week to have been asked to be one of the speakers at the Bond University Women's Forum here on the Gold Coast. And let me tell you, it was an extraordinary experience to be on stage with 2 other incredible women. One young girl, para-triathlete, and a Commonwealth Games ambassador, Sarah Ann Tate, Professor Sharon Strass from the University of Toronto, who's doing extraordinary work in the area of, gerontology, I think it's called, study of old people. Doing incredible work, and then of course me. So it was an incredible event, and we were talking about. Morning, Kathy. Just let me know if you can hear me. So I just want to double check you can hear me this morning. So it was an incredible event to be a part of, and the whole topic was about gratitude, and every person in that room shared their experiences with gratitude. They shared how they have gratitude has been in their lives. Really fascinating. And of course, the MC, Professor Nick James, shared how gratitude had helped him overcome addiction. Very powerful. And so that's kind of one of the things that we're going to be talking about today. And that's the power of 2 things. We're going to talk about 2 things, 2 fastest ways to manifest success. We're going to talk about how you can achieve those in 21 days. And yeah, great. Thanks, Kathy. And we're going to be, and I'll be sharing one other tip, one other thing. So if you've got stuff happening in your life that's not where you want it to be right now, we're talking about these 2 things that you can do. 2 hardest things actually sometimes, which is really interesting, isn't it? Sometimes the simplest things are actually the hardest things to do. So the first one we're going to talk about, because it's fresh on my mind, is gratitude. Now, in the book, The Happiness Project. Good morning, Louise. Oh, it's lovely there too. Is it beautiful? Yeah, it's beautiful here. Chilly, but lovely. Not as chilly as everywhere else. I know. We're just big sooky la-las here in Queensland. But yeah, I walked this morning. I think it was about 11, but it was a chill in the air. And my husband just said to me before, he said, did you actually go for a walk this morning? I said, yes, I did. I had 3 sweaters on, 3 jumpers on today. But I love it. Let's talk about gratitude again. So getting back to gratitude, in the book, The Happiness Project, Professor Sean Achor shares his recipe for happiness. Now, he talked about happiness as having a quotient. So some people are born naturally happy, and other people have to work in it. We all have this quotient, this kind of happiness set point. I'm really fortunate, I guess, in a way. I was born quite an optimistic person. I'm a glass half full all the time, even if sometimes it's the thimble and I've got to find the little drop of water in there. But I tend to be able to see glass half full, whereas my husband's not. He tends to be more of a glass half empty. Now, it's really interesting. In this book, Sean Achor said it doesn't really matter, but by practicing these things, you can actually raise your happiness quotient. So he talks, number 1, I think we've talked about this before on this show, was 3 daily gratitudes, and that was number 1. And so when you are doing your daily journaling, is to also add 3 daily gratitudes. And of course, it has to be 3 different ones, can't be the same ones. And if you did that for 21 days, your happiness quotient, what they found was your happiness quotient would actually rise. So let me know if you're practicing gratitude at the moment, and if you see or feel that's making a difference. What's really interesting is Brene Brown also talks about that in her book, Daring Greatly. She said she'll never talk about joy again because in their research, they found that people who are most joyful are those who actively practice gratitude as well. So it's like a muscle. The more you practice gratitude, the more you go finding and seeking things to be grateful for, especially if you've got to write down 3 things. And that was over 21 days. They found that people's happiness quotients actually rose after 21 days. And even he, in the book, cited the case of a man in his 80s where he practiced the 3 daily gratitudes. So the other part of the recipe for the happiness quotient is journaling a positive experience. And how I like to do that is I like to journal every day my intentions, what my intentions are. So I'm heading for that. Physical exercise, obviously, that's a number 1. Meditate and a random act of kindness. So, keeping an eye out for those can help raise that happiness quotient. And how does that impact on your success? Well, quite honestly, the happier you feel, you're like a magnet. Do you ever notice how many kind of grumpy people there are in the world? Grumpy people. We don't need grumpy people. Why be grumpy? I don't get that. If you're living in a home and you've got a roof over your head and clothes to wear and food on the table, you're pretty lucky. So practice being happy. Now, remember we talked about the Heart Math Institute stuff, where whatever you feel in your heart, that resonates out about 3 meters, 9 feet from you. It's like if you walk into a room, somebody's been arguing and they stop talking, and you can feel the energy. So when you practice happiness and you raise your level of happiness through these, particularly the gratitudes, the 3 daily gratitudes, people will want to be around you because it'll feel different to them. Your energy will feel different. It will feel joyful. And there's enough, not happy people, grumpy people in the world. We need more joyful, happy people. So the 21 days, I challenge you to write daily, 3 daily gratitudes. Again, I'll go back. They have to be different. They have to be different gratitudes. So even if it's things like, it was a little bit warmer today than it was yesterday. Or, because you're right, my favorite person on MasterChef got voted out this week. I don't know why, but I was just grateful because he brought us such joy, watching MasterChef. Or Jerry and I wonder what the heck we're going to be watching for after next week. But just write those things down. It was lovely to have had him in our home, actually, in our living rooms for all that time. He was just a joyful person. So that's number 1, gratitude. And as I said, at this event where, there were some pretty academic people there, they're all actively practicing gratitude. And I hope to, after our presentations on Wednesday afternoon, that more people are practicing gratitude. Now, what a different place it would make in the world if more people were grateful for small things. And number 2, and this, I think, is probably the hardest thing for most of us to do. But when you do this, it will make a huge difference in your life. And that is practicing forgiveness. Now, at our event a couple of weeks ago, my husband shared the story of being able to forgive his stepmother and the difference it's made in his life. He's had to do a lot of internal work to do that, but he's now reached the stage where he has. And it's very, very powerful, especially when it comes to business. In fact, my accountability partners and I now, whenever we're facing with a block in our business, we'll ask the question, who have you not yet forgiven? Now, the practice of forgiveness is actually quite simple, but it can be really hard to do. But I've got some stats for you, some research, so might kind of give you a bit of insight as to why forgiveness is so powerful. So Harvard researcher and physician George Valiant describes forgiveness as one of the 8 positive emotions. So it keeps us connected with our deeper selves and others. And he considers these positive emotions to be key ingredients that bind us together in humanity. Hope, love, joy, compassion, faith, awe, and gratitude. And forgiveness can help you overcome depression, anxiety, and rage, as well as personal and relationship conflicts. And the health benefits are lower heart rate, lower blood pressure, overall stress relief, improving physical symptoms, including fatigue, and improved sleep quality. Now, what happens when you forgive is that it restores your positive thoughts and feelings and behaviors. Why is it so important for success in business? If you are holding on to resentment, you can't be 100% in the present moment. It's simply impossible. I've been working on one particular person I had to forgive, and boy, it's been hard because I didn't want to, quite honestly. I didn't want to. If I let go and I forgive this person, does that make that person right? No, it doesn't. And I always remember watching a TV show, and it was an interview with Ray Martin. And I think I might have mentioned this before, or maybe I said it in the event. Maybe they all blend into one. And it was all about, he was interviewing, and I don't, for any of us, sort of the age, over the age of 45, you'll remember the terrible Anita Cobby murder many years ago, where 5 men kidnapped and did some terrible things to her before killing her. And her father was interviewed on Ray Martin's show, used to be on the midday show many, many years ago. And he'd started the victims of crime support group. And he was asked by Ray Martin, how could you do this? Like, how could you kind of move forward after this? He said, I had to forgive those men for what they did. I had to forgive them for my sake and for my daughter's sake. It didn't make what they did right, nor did I want them out of prison, but I had to forgive them for my sake. And when I could do that, it frees you up. And I asked Jerry one day, how did he know when he'd forgiven his mother? And he said, or his stepmother, and he said, when there was no further charge on my thoughts, whether in fact all I wanted to do was to wish her love. So if you're struggling at the moment with forgiving somebody, if you know there's somebody in your life that's really holding you back, and that's tying you up in knots a bit, kind of that every time you think of them, you just want to go, if only you, and wish you, and why did you? If you can practice for 21 days just the art of forgiving them, it puts you back in control of your life. You're ready to let go of that burden in your heart. So let's go through some steps that can help. Journaling, as we said, in daily journaling, don't ignore this. If this person who has hurt you or wronged you in some way, write it out. Get it out of your head and your heart and write it. So journal to get out of your system all the hurt, all the pain, how wronged you felt. Just keep writing, keep going until there's nothing more to write. Tap on the feelings to remove the emotion. We talk about that all the time, is to lower the emotional intensity of the feeling, to lower it. So tapping around it, we're going to do a little bit of that at the end of the show today. Implement the practice of Ho'oponopono. Now, we talked about this Ho'oponopono. It's an ancient Hawaiian practice. The story is, if you can Google Ho'oponopono, Dr. Joe Vitale does a lot of work in this now, and Dr. Lou Hen, or Hugh Len. I always get these mixed up. I think it's Dr. Hugh Len. And the story in Ho'oponopono is the story of a clinical psychologist who was sent to work in a hospital for the criminally insane. This place was so bad, staff turnover every 9 months. These patients were shackled and highly medicated. And Dr. Hugh Len was sent there to work on them, and he said, yes, I will, as long as I don't see them. all I want to do is their files. And he read through their files and he practiced Ho'oponopono, which is saying the words, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. Believing that we are all part of one great energy stream. Now, interestingly enough, after he'd done this for a period of time, all the patients were eventually released and the institution closed down. It's quite folklore in Hawaii. We were there. We first heard about it when I was in Hawaii doing a seminar I think it was about 15 years ago. It's quite a strong story, a very, very powerful story in Hawaii. So if you can look it up, Google it, that's Ho'oponopono. I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. If you just can't move to that place when you can get this person out of your mind, it's a great practice. And then write it down for 21 days. Who do you need to forgive? Who do you need to forgive in order for you to move on? So if you're coming up with any at the moment, let me know. In the comments below, let me know. How is this person or situation impacting on you now? You know, because that person actually probably doesn't think about you at all. Doesn't even give you a glance of a moment. But us hanging on to the pain of whatever they did to us is what keeps us trapped. And I know this particular person for me, I knew it was finally released, when something happened this week and manifested this miracle out of nowhere, I thought, I finally let it go. I finally let it go. It's taken me a while. I finally let it go. So if you are struggling with something in your life right now, is that an upside down smiley face? Louise. Yes. Interesting, isn't it? You know, gratitude and forgiveness, two things that are just so simple, but boy, oh boy, can be hard to do. So set yourself a challenge, 21-day challenge, according to the research, especially in the areas of gratitude, you will lift and shift your happiness quotient if you do it every day for 21 days. And it's funny, isn't it? Because you actually go looking for it and you think, oh, what am I grateful for? What am I grateful for today? And you just go looking for it. It's incredible. What a different feel it is, you know, when you're going looking for the gratitude. I had to stop writing for the sun coming up every morning for a beautiful sunrise. I'm grateful for that every day. I can't write that down. So you go looking for different things. And it's a great muscle. Going to the gym. So let's do a tapping on this. If you are, I know what I was going to do. I said, if you haven't already downloaded the 2 and 20 principle, here it is, the 2 and 20 principle. In there is a way that you're thinking, oh my gosh, how the heck am I going to fit all this in my day? Gratitude, you know, journaling, blah, 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 blah. And you haven't yet downloaded the 2 and 20 principle. It is here. It is free for you to download, and it helps you put things into your day really simply. I'm a habit person. I'm a true habit person. So I love creating habits, and to me, that's how you create success, is by your daily habits. So that's what the 2 and 20 principle is all about. It's about creating those success principles. All right, who's up for a tapping? Let's do a tapping on forgiveness, and let's tap on something or somebody. Can't forget, still forget. Have forgiven, can't forget, still forget. Then you haven't forgiven. Isn't that interesting, Kathy? Because that was the question I asked Jerry about when he said he'd finally forgiven his mother. I said, how did you know? And he said there was no charge on it anymore. I just don't think she's not part of my life, my world. She's not in my mind. So we'll do a tapping. Just see, Kathy, if there's something, some aspect of it that you haven't forgiven for this person. It might be they have said something, they've made you feel embarrassed, sad, angry, frustrated. See if there's an emotion around something that you haven't yet released, because it's just hanging. You could be just hanging on. That this person I was talking about, I thought I'd forgiven too, until I realized I was thinking about them a lot. Same like you. I thought, well, I haven't forgiven them, and now it doesn't even cross my mind. So then you know. That's when you know. It's like, oh, I haven't thought about that person for a while. Oh, how cool is that? All right, so let's do some tapping on that now. Let's tap on. I can't bring myself to forgive them. So you can change the words. So Kathy, you might like to just kind of say, well, I'm still thinking about this and it's driving me crazy. So on a scale of 1 to 10, this still thinking about them is still strong. What's that measurement there? And we'll do a general tap is I can't quite forgive this person yet. And we're going to add some forgiveness tapping at the end. Okay, let's tap. Even though when I think of this person, I can't quite forgive them yet. There's still a part of me that's still hanging on to some pain. I deeply and completely accept myself and how I feel. Even though I'd really like to forgive this, there's some part of me that's still hanging on to it. And I'd like to let it go. I deeply and completely accept myself and how I feel. Even though there's a part of my heart that's struggling to let go of this. I'm ready and willing and open to let it go and forgive them. But I know there's a part of me that's hanging on to it. I deeply and completely accept myself and how I feel. Okay, tapping. I'm not sure I can really forgive them. I want to forgive them. But there's a part of me still hanging on to it. Does forgiving them mean making them right? There's a part of me that struggles to forgive them. There's a part of me that can't let go. I'm still feeling some emotion around this person. Sometimes I can't stop thinking about them. I'm not sure what it is, but there's a part of me that can't totally forgive them. I'd really like to shift that. There's a part of me that can't totally forgive them. There's a part of me that's still caught up in the emotion. Maybe I'm still hurt and angry. There's a part of me that just can't let this go. There's a part of me that just can't forgive. Okay, just take a deep breath and let it go. All right, just see what it is. See if you can identify that emotion. What is it that you're not letting go of? What is it? Just see. Just think about it today. 21 days, remember. So if you can give yourself 21 days to do this and tap on all those aspects, hurt, anger, frustration, lets them off the hook, it's not fair. I'm trying to think of things that I've tapped on. They're going off to be real. They're going off to do great things, and I've got nothing. I feel small. See if you can find the things, the emotion. Get out of your head, write it down in your journal and tap on that to release the emotion feeling. For me, I know for one person I had to forgive, it was like they were going on to do great things after what they'd done to me. Interesting. So I was stopping myself doing great things because I was hung up on not forgiving them. See how it works? So when you release the emotion around it and forgive them, it frees you up to create your own reality. Remember, you are 100% responsible for your own reality, or at the very least, how you respond to it. Let's do a quick reframe round and pull out the I am statements. Okay, here we go. Even though I'm still struggling a little to fully forgive them, I choose to forgive this person now for my sake. even though there's still a little bit of emotion there, I choose to forgive them for my sake. Even though there's a part of me that doesn't want to let this go. I choose to be kind and compassionate to myself and forgive myself for not wanting to let this go. Okay, tapping. I choose to forgive this person now. I choose to forgive me. I choose to step into my own power. I choose to forgive me. I choose to forgive this person. I choose to give myself the time. I choose to be kind and compassionate to me. I choose to forgive them. Now, what I want to do now, I want to do a Ho'opono round. So how you'd use Ho'oponopono with this. So think of the person, okay? You just go, I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. Take a deep breath. Say, remember what you're doing is you are forgiving yourself for your part you played in this. Whether it was that you didn't stand up and make a statement, whether it was you let them, override your sense of self. And what I have always found when I'm working with clients is that when they tell me somebody has betrayed them, set them up, left them, that there will always have been signposts along the way. There will always have been that's a bit odd feeling. And when you let go of the emotion, you can go back and find those moments and you'll see a pattern that set itself up, that you will see where in the past you've given away your power easily, you haven't listened to your intuition, you've allowed yourself to be treated with no value or worth. You'll find it. And it's the ability to forgive that so that you'll begin to see the pattern. So remember, that's what this is all about, is finding the pattern. All right, pulling the I am statements out of it. I just think the I am mantra is so powerful that you're creating this mantra. So after the Ho'opono, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, which is you forgiving yourself for being part of whatever this was, which can sometimes be hard. You're actually a part of it, unfortunately. And unfortunately, but when you forgive yourself and them, it's good. Pull the I am statement, I am powerful. I am a forgiving soul. I am grateful for this lesson. I am powerful beyond measure. So pull those I am statements out for yourself in order to really step into this manifesting success. 21 days will make a huge difference to your success. Trust me, it will. Should have went with my gut feeling. Yes. Kathy, it's really interesting. Every time I'm working with clients and I'll say that to them, they'll go, it was just this little, in my case, it was just this little, I know where it was. I knew that. But no, that won't happen. Oh, no. Oh, and a lot of it is, oh gosh, if I stay, what if they won't like me, or what if they confront me, or what if they don't think I'm a nice person? Oh, thank you, Louise. Oh, I'm grateful to have met you too. You can be in my gratitude today. Thank you for that lovely comment. That's lovely. Thank you, lovely people. Let's go on and be joyful for the next 21 days. Yay! Let's sprinkle fairy dust. Oh, I used to be a little fairy, you know, when I was a little girl, to twirl around. I love twirl around dresses and lace socks, and I'm still the same. Have a wonderful, wonderful week, everybody. Practice your gratitudes and your forgiveness. Let me know how you go. Let's make the world a more joyful, successful place. All righty. Have a great week, everybody. Talk soon. Bye.